Okay, good morning everybody, it's Mike and thanks for joining me this morning. I want to talk to you today about inconvenient truths. Inconvenient truths, what is that? These are things that we passionately want to believe are true, but they're not. They've been proven wrong over and over again. We just want to believe it. I've got 5 for you today that I want to touch on. Let's jump in. Number 1, inconvenient truth number 1, I can effectively work from home. No, that's not true, and you know it's not. We can work from home, we just don't. It's been proven, they've studied this stuff, whoever it is that gets paid to study stuff like this over and over and over again, and they always come back with the same thing. Less than 1% of the U.S. population is effectively working from home. I want to tell you about 2 stories that real quickly that apply to this. I have a friend, and she's a nurse, and she works for a big company, and when their employees get sick or hurt or they need some kind of medical advice, they call this online nurse and she helps them to the best she can with direction. Nice benefit, right? Yeah, sure. And for the longest time, she had the best job you could possibly imagine because she'd work from home and she'd spend a lot of the time at the pool because she rarely got interrupted. This was a benefit that just a lot of the employees weren't taking advantage of. She could go and do just about anything that she wanted. She could do her laundry or her household chores. She could go sit by the pool. She used to giggle about how great this job was. Yeah, and every time I would hear her talk about it, I would think, yeah, but you're not getting anything done. Well, the company was sold to a new company, and things changed in a hurry. They put a measurement device on her mouse, and if she didn't move her mouse every 15 seconds, an incident report was created. Life changed pretty quickly for her. What they were saying to her is, nah, we know you're working from home. We think you're probably goofing off a lot of the time. We think there's a lot of distractions around there. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to create a mechanism that's going to measure your productivity. That lasted about 3 weeks, and she got fired. Why? She couldn't move her mouse every 15 seconds. Why? Because that's hard to do while you're folding laundry. Last week, my wife had knee surgery, so I stayed home on Thursday and Friday to, help her out and while she was recuperating from that. And I'm thinking, well, I'll just work from home these 2 days. And on Friday, I caught myself. I'm standing out in the backyard throwing the ball for our dog, and the thought hits my mind, you're not working right now. Well, I'm taking a break. Yeah, you don't do this when you're at work. The distractions, which is what we call them, the distractions are enormous. If you ever hired somebody to measure your productivity working from home versus working at your real estate office, you would be shocked at how much less you get done working from home. Inconvenient truth number 1. Inconvenient truth number 2, I can exist off repeat and referral business. Not true. Not true at all. And really for just one simple reason. Because you simply don't know enough people who move every year. You just don't know enough people who move every year. That's it. The average agent in Atlanta is going to sell less than 4 homes this year. Think about that. Why? I'm absolutely convinced I know why. They have the inconvenient truth, belief that they can exist off repeat and referral business out of their sphere of influence, that they know enough people to run a real estate business off of and make a living. It's just not true. Inconvenient truth number 3, the commission split with my company is very important. Now look, I got 32 years as an agent in Atlanta. I fully get the whole concept of commission splits, and I'm just like you. I was very focused on it too. But here's the truth. It's just not true. Because you're in big ticket sales, folks, and when the day you can understand this concept, most of your decision making will start changing. Because you're in big ticket sales, because you can make thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars per transaction. The only thing you need to focus on, is how many transactions can you do this year. And there's nothing else that you need to focus on. I'll contend this, that everything else is just call avoidance. It is paying attention to things that don't matter to avoid paying attention to the things that do matter. Where's your business going to come from, and what are you going to do every day to make that happen? Those are the only two thoughts that need to occupy our minds every day. Where's my business going to come from? What am I going to do each day to make that happen? And everything else is junk and noise that we use to focus on so we don't have to pay attention to the only two things that matter. Yep, I just said it out loud, right? Inconvenient truth number 4. I should recommend at least 3 lenders, attorneys, home inspectors to my customers. No, I don't think that's true at all. There's no rule or law about that. You might have heard somebody say that that's good business. I think it's horrible business. I don't know 3 good lenders that I would trust to recommend to my customers. And I know the way that I can demand and insist on great, outrageous customer service is to focus my business in on a few support vendors. And then by volume, I can demand service and attention to my customers. I will contend that by recommending 1 lender to my customers and explaining why they need to work with that lender, and it's not in their best interest to work with Quicken, by directing all of my business to that 1 lender, to that 1 home inspector, to that 1 closing attorney, I'm doing a better job for my customers. Give them 3, good luck with that. Inconvenient truth number 5. I can run my real estate business around my personal life. That's my favorite. What a bunch of bullshit that is. I know so many people are trying to do it. I know it's a beautiful concept that you'll get everything in your personal life takes a priority, and then you'll fill in your real estate business around it. It just won't work that way. You know what does work? 2 rules. Really, there's just 2 rules to this business. There's 2 truths. I was shown this when I was early in the business, and it turns out to be true. 2 rules for sales. Show up. Like, get your little fanny out of bed every morning at a designated time. You get to pick the time. Nobody else gets to pick that for you. That's the freedom and flexibility you were getting into. Get your little fanny out of bed, get dressed, and get to work. That's probably not in your house unless you're the 1% of the population. Newsflash, if you think you're the 1%, you're probably not. You're just fooling yourself. Get up, get dressed, get to work. Look like a pro, put yourself in a professional environment. Rule number 2, ask for the business. That's it. Show up, ask for the business. Now, what do I mean ask for the business? I mean this. Have a designated target audience. Who do you want to buy homes and sell homes with you this year? Who is that? And what are you going to do every day to make that happen? That's asking for the business, folks. It really just boils down to those 2 things. I know it's inconvenient. I understand Atlanta traffic. I understand how great it would be to be able to work from home and play with your pets and have breakfast with your children and get laundry done. And I get it. I have these fantasies too. You are going to suffer. Your business is going to suffer. You're going to get distracted. Depression will set in, a feeling of isolatedness. Get up, get to work, ask for the business. It just boils down to that, folks. Now let's just go make it happen today.